I like it. The guy here.
Literally running.
You're running for Supreme this year. Good luck. If there's any way you think we could be of help, please call me. If there's any thought that comes to your head. 100%, please.
I can't make any.
You have my number, right? I will give you my.
Democracy's beautiful. Let's keep democracy. It's worked pretty well for us so far, right?
Agreed. Is this a video or a? Oh, it's a video. Oh, like okay. Hi.
Allen, you may say fuck Trump, but I never want to fuck him. I'd rather fuck his wife.
I am so proud to be a member of the Jim Owls Liberal Political Club. Allen Roskoff is a gem. He's a peach. I love all the great work that they're doing, and I'm so very proud to be a part of it.
Welcome to the Jim Owls Liberal Democratic Club Annual Awards Gala. Tonight we honor people who are making a contribution to the movement. Tonight for us to come together, celebrate what we've accomplished, and continue the war against fascism and reaffirm our commitment to continuing to fight until we achieve equality and justice for all in our country and around the globe.
Give me the hook, or the ovation. It's my world. I like to have a little pride in my world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what I am. I am what I am. I don't want praise, I don't want pity. I bang my own drum, some think it's noise, I think it's pretty. And so what if I love each feather and each spangle? Why not try to see things from a different angle? Your life is a sham till you can shout out now, I am what I am. What I am needs no excuses. I deal my own death. Sometimes yes, sometimes excuses. There's one life and there's no return and no deposit. One life, so it's time to open up your closet. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I Oh, thank you. Did you guys all enjoy that little number? And make some commotion for this dress. Thank you. I made it. Thank you so much for having me. Who's going to honor me? Say something nice about me right now. Someone get up. Who's going to say thank you? me, my name is Jasmine Rice LaBeija from the Royal House of LaBeija here in New York City. All right, what's happening next? I love my program.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to introduce Jasmine Rice LaBeija to you, a trained opera singer that studied at the Juilliard School. She sang at Guggenheim Museum, Lincoln Center. She was a contestant on Britain's Got Talent. She's one of the most amazing singers in the New York drag scene, and I'm proud to introduce her. She's a member of the legendary House of LaBeija.
Welcome to the Jim Owls Liberal Democratic Club Award Ceremony. My name is Erik, Bottcher, State Senator for the West Side of Manhattan, from Christopher Street up to 103rd Street, or as they say, from the gay bars to Z bars. As Brad Hoyle and Siegel gave me permission to say that. And I am so honored to be joined here by my co-presenter, the one, the only, the legendary Lorna Luft. So tonight, at this dinner, this is an opportunity for us to honor and acknowledge people who have made tremendous contributions to the fight for equality and the fight against fascism in our country. It's a night for us to take stock of all the progress we've made, to redouble our efforts to make more progress and continue fighting until we achieve full equality in our country and in our world. And importantly, we have to acknowledge, as cisgender gays and lesbians, that even though our community, gays and lesbians, cisgender gays and lesbians, we have achieved so much progress. We have marriage equality. We have places like New York City, where we have so much, can live so openly. There are members of our community, transgender New Yorkers and gender nonconforming New Yorkers, who are under vicious attack by our own federal government, and we are one community. We will all fight until every member of our community has full equality in every corner of our country and in every country around the globe. Am I right? I'm so honored now to turn the mic over to someone who I'm so proud and so lucky that I can call her a friend. If you had told me when I was a little kid, little gay boy in the Adirondacks, in a town with no stoplight, with a population of 950, that one day I would be friends with Lorna Luft. That's the New York City dream, is it not? Lorna Luft.
Thank you, Erik. I am incredibly happy to be here and honored. And I was here last year, and I will be here every year. Okay? And if you will join me, I will invite you all, always, to be here, because we have a fight on our hands. Okay? And we will all stand together as the human race and say, enough. We've had enough. And we have to do that. And Erik was so nice, and Allen was so great to explain to me really all about Jim Owls, because I wasn't really familiar. And now I am. And I am, as my darling friend Mia says, I'm in for the long haul. So I'm so grateful. But I have a little video that I'd like to show you of my friend. I can say this so proudly. My friend, Erik Bottcher, who calls me up on the phone and says, get ready, here's what we're doing. And I say, okay, let's go. And I am so proud to live in New York City. I've only been back 3 years, but I can honestly say in my heart, in my soul, I am a New Yorker. So here is a video.
Thank you, Senator Mayor. If men could get pregnant, abortion medication would be available at vending machines everywhere. We know it's true. I'm here as a man who has autonomy over my own body, agency over my own body, control over my own body. Women deserve autonomy over their own bodies, control of their bodies, agency of their own bodies. And if you have religious objections to it, that's fine. But don't force your opinion on the women of America everywhere. That's wrong. We need to reverse these Supreme Court decisions as soon as possible. We need to do everything we can to have these decisions reversed. And at the state level, we need to do everything possible to protect the rights of women, including rights over their own bodies, over their reproductive health care. That's why I'm so proud to support this legislation here in New York State. If we're going to live up to the ideals of our country, women must have equal rights, and that means having control over their own bodies, just like all men do.
Thank you, Lorna. Well, I've got a video to show about Lorna. When she threw out the pitch at the Pride game at Yankee Stadium.
I've never been so scared in my life.
I couldn't have done that, I'm just saying. So I'm going to introduce a colleague of mine in a moment, but before I introduce my amazing new colleague in the State Senate, I want to say a word about the person who brought us all here together tonight. That is the one and the only Allen Roskoff. In the early 70s, a young activist disguised himself as a psychiatrist and entered the Taxi and Limousine Commission offices with a couch, demanding that the straight commissioner receive a psychiatric exam. Until that point, homosexual cab drivers had to produce a letter from a psychiatrist verifying that they were sane enough to drive a taxi. As a result of that demonstration, the regulation was changed and no such letter was needed. That activist was Allen Roskoff. A few years later, to protest regulations barring same-sex couples from dancing together, and in an entity with a cabaret license, a few activists entered the Rainbow Room. Two men. They danced, risking arrest, shocking everyone. A few days later, the Consumer Affairs Department changed the regulation and same-sex couples were then allowed to dance together. The Post ran an article entitled "Gays Win in a Waltz." One of those activists was Allen Roskoff. And look, this is the kind of activism that you don't see a lot of nowadays. Am I right? We do a lot. We go to a lot of protests, a lot of actions. but we're almost never putting ourselves in danger the way that Allen and people like him did, so that people like me could stand up here and could be a sitting member of the New York State Senate. Thank you, Allen Roskoff. Thank you, Allen. So now I get to introduce a colleague of mine. I've been in the State Senate for 3.5 months. And one of the best parts, in addition to the incredible, impactful work that we're getting to do on behalf of New York, is my new colleagues. I love my new colleagues. And here is one of my favorites. Her name is Senator Julia Salazar.
Thank you, Senator Erik Bottcher. Good evening, everyone. I am Senator Julia Salazar. I represent New York's 18th District in Brooklyn and Queens, and I'm so proud to be here with you all to continue to support the work of the Jim Owls Liberal Democratic Club under Allen's leadership. I want to say I am so grateful that Erik has joined us in the State Senate, and that I get to be a member of his committee. He chairs the Cities Committee, the Itty Bitty Cities Committee, as I like to call it, in the State Senate. And it truly is a pleasure to be his colleague. I am going to introduce another colleague with what will soon be a connection to us in the State Senate, the Honorable Adrienne Adams. Who needs no introduction, but that won't stop me from trying. Adrienne Adams served most recently, as we all know, as the first Black Speaker of the City Council in New York City history. Before she became Speaker, Adrienne was also the very first woman to represent the 28th District in Queens on the City Council. So needless to say, this incredible woman is a trailblazer and is not afraid to be the first to do it. She also is the Democratic candidate for Lieutenant Governor of our state. And I believe will be the first Black woman to serve as Lieutenant Governor of the state of New York. So the firsts keep coming. For anyone who doesn't already know, one of the many tasks of the Lieutenant Governor in New York is to preside over the state Senate. So with that, I very much look forward to the day when I am sitting in the chamber and I get to look up at Adrienne Adams presiding over our House as we pass legislation to try to make New York a state where everyone feels safe regardless of their gender identity, regardless of their sexuality, their race, their identity, a place where all of us can truly thrive. I know that that is what Adrienne is fighting for, and I look forward to the day when I can call her Madam President in the State Senate as she presides as Lieutenant Governor. Adrienne Adams.
Thank you so much, Senator. Oh my goodness. I feel so warm and welcome in this room by all of you. I am sitting at a table with legends and I'm shaking like a leaf. Lorna Luft, Mia Farrow, the great Leslie Uggams, ladies and gentlemen. My mind is blown right now, but I'm going to try to stay on topic. Thank you so much, Senator, for that wonderful, warm introduction. Thank you so much, Allen, President of the Jim Owls Liberal Democratic Club, for bringing us together tonight at this very, very beautiful event. I also want to acknowledge all of my colleagues in government tonight, the state, the city council. Hello, Madam Speaker Julie Menon. I just want to say that as a council in the prior session, we put forth some of the most thoughtful, critical, lasting legislation in behalf of the LGBTQ plus community in the history of the city of New York. This was lasting policy that Donald John Trump cannot touch. Jim Owls Dems, everything you've done over the decades to push this city, and yes, sometimes very loudly, Allen, has left us so much better and more honest about who gets left behind. Our future generations are better off because of your tenacity. Pride is personal for so many of you here. Also, you understand that pride has always been political, whether we wanted it to be or not. And organizations like this one remind us that when we make progress as a community, as a state, or as a nation, it never happens by accident. It happens because leaders like you have made conscious choices to give voice to the voiceless, showing up for some of our most vulnerable communities every single day. Not just talking about LGBTQ rights in June and moving on in July. That's exactly why I am so proud to run alongside Governor Kathy Hochul in New York State's first all-female majority party. As a lot of you know, she has spent her entire career fighting for the rights of every New Yorker, no matter who they are, who they love, or how they identify. Working with advocates and lawmakers to ensure the birthplace of the LGBTQ plus rights movement remains a safe haven for our communities, expanding the Gender Expression Non-Discrimination Act, putting protections in place for anyone from any state who comes here seeking care or support, no matter their background or their identity, and investing millions when hate crimes rose to strengthen security so our communities could feel safe once again. Now let's be clear, we can talk a little politics tonight, just a little bit. This is all of the stuff that's on the ballot this November. As we gather here this evening, New York is under constant attack from none other, you all don't tell anybody I call him this, but I can't really say his name, I don't like to say his name. I call him Felon 47. We are under constant attack from Felon 47 and MAGA extremists in Washington who want to drag this country backward. They're driving up costs with expensive illegal tariffs. They're gutting New Yorkers' health care. They're sending untrained ICE agents into our schools, our courts, and our communities. Instead of delivering for New Yorkers, they are trying their best to divide New Yorkers, erasing the rich history of LGBTQ plus New Yorkers from our schools and rebranding them as culture war issues. And here at home, we have Republicans cheering them on, enablers in Congress and across our state who bend the knee to the President of the United States at every turn, and Bruce Blakeman is one of them. Because while Governor Hochul is fighting to protect New Yorkers, Blakeman is out here bragging that ICE is doing a very, 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 very good job. Oh, I like that noise. I like that too. All while he hires his own family remembering people with arrest records for his armed MAGA militia. Even Felon 47 called Bruce Blakeman MAGA all the way, and you know what? He was absolutely right, because time and time again, Blakeman has chosen Trump over New York families. 100% MAGA, 0% New York. And New York, we have a message for them. New York does not back down. New York does not tolerate bullies. A matter of fact, I welcome a good fight every now, Ms. Uggams. Don't tell anybody that either. But we don't back down. In New York, we are united behind Governor Kathy Hochul, and we are so ready to fight back. Because elections are about our values. It's about whether we move forward or let MAGA extremists drag us backwards. I know which direction we are going. We are going forward with Governor Hochul, together as one team, because what our Republican opponents want for New York is what plays best at Mar-a-Lago, and it ain't golf. We want what's best for New York, but we can't win this alone. It's going to take everyone working together, moving in the same direction to win this vital election. As we celebrate Pride next month, let's remember what it really represents. Yes, it is joy, but it is also resistance, Alan. It is resistance. It is the absolute refusal to ever go backward. We owe it to the next generation of LGBTQIA+ New Yorkers to honor their history and carry it forward with our actions. So together, we're going to make history. We will re-elect Governor Kathy Hochul. We will defeat, all right, I'll say his name, Donald John Trump. Oh, I love that noise. We will defeat his enablers as well, including Bruce Blakeman, up and down the ballot. And we will keep delivering for the great state of New York, because in New York we do not back down. In New York, when we fight, we win. 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 We're in this fight together, and we're gonna win it together. Thank you. Without any further ado, it is my great honor and pleasure to present to you none other than the president of the Jim Owls Liberal Democratic Club, the one, the only, Allen Roskoff.
You know, very early on, when there was going to be a vacancy in the candidacy of Lieutenant Governor, I said Adrienne Adams should be the pick of Kathy Hochul. And people said to me, it's not going to happen. She's not going to pick another woman. There's not going to be two women heading the ticket. And I said, why not? And sure enough, it happened. That's progress. That's tremendous. You know, I just came back from Florida about 2 weeks ago. I was visiting a friend in the hospital. And he asked me to read to him. So I took out a book, Good Night, Rudy. And he said, not that book. And he leaned into his bedside table and took out Mein Kampf. Rudy is Rudy, awful human being and a trumpet. Thank you on that one. You know, we're all lefties and we all fight for progress, but you know, we all love our country. So, will everybody please stand for a moment? I'm sorry to interrupt your dinner. Thank you. And please repeat after me. Loud. Please, Sergio, loud. Fuck Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump! Right on! Fuck Donald Trump! Thank you for that. know George Conway agrees with that. He's with us tonight. Jeff? Talking about the Trumps. Melania Trump just wrote an article for Mother's Day in which she said women can be successful professionally as workers and be good mothers. She's absolutely right. She is proving that sex work is work. I want to introduce the elected officials, but I do want to say first that throughout our city, there are Black and Latino and Franks living in apartments, terrified that there's going to be a knock on the door and that ICE is going to come in and take them away to a land they may not ever have seen. Parents may even be sent to a concentration camp. That's what we've come to. Just think about that. We all remember Anne Frank. Well, we're living in that time now. Each and every one of us has to work to elect Democrats throughout the country. We need to go door in purple states and even our own states to take away seats from the Republicans. It's a matter of life and death. Thank you. I hope I don't miss anybody, but we have with us the current Speaker of the City Council, Julie Menon. Julie? Also from the LGBTQ community, someone I've known, actually I outed him. He walked into my living room for a fundraiser, I think it was in the 1990s, and I said, oh, Tony Simone's here, he's gay, but he doesn't tell anybody. And that's Assembly Member Tony Simone. Our State Controller, who we all love to pieces, Tom DiNapoli. Newly elected Assembly Member, former City Council Member, Keith Powers. Assembly Member and candidate for Congress in the Jerry Nadler seat, Alex Flores. There was recently a race for City Council for a seat that I worked very hard in the 1980s to get it drawn so that it would be a gay-friendly seat. And we got it. And you know, the first candidate for that seat, the first candidate in history who was gay, who ran for office, was in that seat, and that was Jim Owles. And that was in 1972, I believe. And we fought to keep that seat because we were not going to be erased. And the LGBT community and our allies supported us, and we elected Carl Wilson for City Council. And the fantastic and most vociferous fighter for civil rights and criminal justice, especially the issue of clemency and the way people who are incarcerated are treated. And Adrienne Adams, we're going to want to sit with you after this election and talk about clemency, because we have to get people out. And that's Senator Julia Salazar. Very prominent member of the Progressive Caucus of the City Council, and also a member of the LGBTQ community, and that's the fabulous Crystal Hudson. former city council member, former Manhattan president, present city council member, someone everybody knows and is part of the fabric of New York. Wouldn't know what we would do if she wasn't in office, and that's Gail Brewer. And a person very, very loyal to this club, and a vociferous fighter also for clemency, and lobbies governors behind the scenes. I've seen him pick up the phone about certain people who had applications in for clemency, and that is my close friend, Frank Sedio. Frank. Brad Lander was here earlier. I gave him permission to leave because he had tickets for Erik, Bruce Springsteen, I'm sorry. And I saw him 2 nights ago with Erik, and he was fantastic. Incredible. And another council member, who the club is extremely close to, we asked her to introduce a bill in the city council to take AIDS criminal Ed Koch's name off the Queensboro Bridge, and she did. And we love her for that and for all that she does, and that's congressional candidate and council member Julie Wan. Julie? And I would be remiss if I did not introduce Donald Trump's ally and close friend, George Conway. George is also running for Congress. And I think I want to thank 3 people. Joan, are you here? Joan, where are Joan? Joan. Oh, Chanel's here. And Chris Sosa. Chris, will you stand? Chris has been a tireless 24-hour worker on the left of the Democratic Party. He's a member of DSA, works his ass off, and is very, very loyal to the Jim Owls Club. And I don't know what we would do without you, Chris. Thank you so much. I got more names. Also from Brooklyn, a woman who works really hard, especially on the issue of dyslexia throughout the state. A woman who this club worked very hard for decades ago, and she had a real race, and that is Joanne Simon. Joanne? And we also have from Queens, a woman who ran for city council very recently and had a primary, and she came to us. We interviewed her. Our interviews last 30 minutes, a half hour for every candidate, because we have to get to know them. We have to investigate and know who they are. And for that matter, we were one of the first clubs to endorse Adrienne Adams when she ran for city council, right? And that's Chanel Lewis Thomas. Did I get Chanel? Thomas, okay. I got it backwards. Chanel, stand up, please. Chanel has become family. I think that's it from me. We are having a meeting tomorrow. We're going to be interviewing all the congressional candidates in Jerry Nadler's district, Lydia Velasquez's district, and another district, and some legislative races. Please come tomorrow and interview the candidates. Oh, yeah, she's going to be speaking. Oh, okay, and introduce Crystal. We also have with us Assembly Member Jessica Reyes Gonzalez. No, Gonzalez Ricos. community and is soon to be state senator. I want to thank everybody for being here, because you're not here because you have a big name. You're not here because we just wanted to sell tickets. You're here because each and every one of you have made a difference. Whether it's in race relations, breaking barriers, whether it's working within the LGBT community as a member or as an ally, or standing up to Donald Trump and the Republicans, each and every person here has made a big difference to the life of people and have worked for progressive politics. And I salute every one of you. Thank you. Have a good night.
I'm here not only for this incredible organization, but I am so honored to be able to present this award. I was 10 years old when I met Mia Farrow, and she came into my family's life. She was my sister's confidant and best friend. And I was the pain in the butt little sister. But Mia always made me feel that I had a purpose. She never ever looked at me without anything but love and compassion. Now we know what an amazing and incredible talent that she is. But I want to tell you what the person that I grew up, that is part of my family, is about. She is if you look up the word love, it will say Mia Farrow. When you look up the word compassion, it will say Mia Farrow. When you look up the word fighter, it will say Mia Farrow. And whenever I have thought to myself, which I did the other night, I thought, what was the one constant thing in my life that made my heart happy? It certainly wasn't schools, and it certainly wasn't houses, because they were not a constant. The constant in my life was the friendship and the love of Mia. And whenever I have had a celebration, I've called her. Whenever I've had a problem, I've called her. And we have seen everything through together. And I am so honored to be able to give this incredible award to her. There are no words to explain to you how much she is so important to all of our lives, because I truly believe if there are angels on earth, Mia Farrow is one of them. So, let me give you...
Her father was a film producer, her mother's a star, but she herself has never appeared in a film. Her name, Mia Farrow, 19-year-old daughter of Maureen O'Sullivan. She's been picked to replace Britt Eklund. Bridget, you remember, was starring in Guns of Batazi when she decided to fly to Hollywood to be near her husband, Peter Sellers. Now the part will be played by this cool, blonde newcomer who took this press call at Pinewood just before going on the set. A sigh of relief from 20th Century Fox, who were getting worried about the expensive break in production. A sigh of happiness from Mia. Any break, she says, is a lucky break.
Now to a fine, healthy baby. Yeah.
I have a pain. Here.
Pregnant women gain weight, they don't lose it.
Pain like that is a warning that something isn't right. It's a lie!
We're your friends, Rosemary.
I'll kill you if I touch you. What have you done to him, you maniac?
I'll love you forever.
Kiss me. Be my lover. Stay my lover.
Your husband.
Husband and lover.
I know I'd be nervous, and I maybe wouldn't get everything said that I want to convey. I want to thank you, Lorna. Thank you, Lorna, for saying all those things, but mostly thank you for a lifetime of love, friendship, family. All that we are is one of the enduring rocks of my life. Thank you, Lorna. Anybody who knows Lorna knows what I mean. And I would thank you, Alan, for making this happen. And I just, you know, when I got invited to come here, I have to confess, when I received the invitation, my first instinct was to politely decline, because I looked at the list of previous honorees, and I just thought, so many of these people have made truly significant contributions, and I haven't. So I'm wondering, is this award for raising America's gayest investigative reporter? That we know of. Or was it maybe because in the 80s I gave voice to a unicorn, the last unicorn? She undergoes a traumatic, traumatizing physical transformation, gets kidnapped by a campy witch. If anybody saw this cartoon movie, it's actually quite wonderful. And she just longs to find a community of her own people. And I feel that I am among my own people. You know, I'm a straight woman, but I'm a pretty queer straight woman. So. And actually, if it is for the last unicorn that I'm getting this, I get it. When I really said yes, because 8 days ago, I have to read this part. The White House released a document that I just can't get out of my mind. It's the 2026 United States Counterterrorism Strategy. It names 3 priority threats to this country. Get this, drug cartels, Islamic terrorist organizations, and Americans that call the document, it says, calls, quote, radically pro-transgender. Trump's counter-terrorism czar stood at a podium last week and said he intends to crush transgender killers, the non-binary, and the left-wing radicals. That pretty much takes care of every one of us in this room, I guess. Our government has named a category of its own American citizens as enemies of the state. This is new for me. The administration has been busy scrubbing resources for queer kids off of the federal websites. They cut the youth suicide hotline. The Supreme Court is upholding bans on transgender service members and health care for trans kids. And now this administration is targeting people living with HIV. They're trying to completely eliminate domestic prevention funding at the CDC, while states follow their lead by cutting off access to life-saving prescriptions. Abroad, as you know, they have got a PEPFAR, our global health initiative. A system that keeps more than 20 million people alive is on the chopping block. We ought to be aware of that. Already, millions have lost access to life-saving drugs due to these cuts. This can't happen. So if you haven't yet, call your representatives. Call them every day. Call them as much as you can. Bother them and tell them to stop these cuts. They are unacceptable and cruel. They'll lose all of our votes, all of our support, and we have to keep these programs alive. And this is, honestly, this has been my community for, I think, my whole life, and I'm here with you. I just want to say that I'm in this with you for as long as I can breathe. You know, I accept this award with more gratitude than I know how to express. But really, it belongs to you, to the community, to the LGBTQ community, and it comes with a promise from me that I will do everything I can to help. I will stand with you for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Two things. Mia, did you ever think the Antichrist from that movie would become president someday? And I wanted to remind people, we have the most incredible swag bags that we are famous for. T-shirts, mugs that are to die for. So don't forget to pick up your bag on the way out.
Good evening. My name is Crystal Hudson. I'm a city council member representing a district in Brooklyn. And I want to make sure that we never forget that Pride started as a protest. And 57 years after that first brick was thrown, we gathered around the National Stonewall Monument to protest, was it Felon 47's removal of the Pride flag. We've stood firmly and fought against every futile attempt this administration has made to erase us, whether by trying to ban our books and life-saving health care, or attempting to curtail our participation in sports and scare us out of one of the most mundane and ubiquitous human acts, using the bathroom. And that's exactly what they've attempted to do with acclaimed actor and writer Wesley Han. But we don't scare easily, and we've never been afraid of a fight. For Wesley, it was courageously and quickly filing a lawsuit against the Soho Grand Hotel after their traumatizing experience of being removed from the women's restroom for absolutely no reason. No one should fear using the restroom, not now, not ever, and certainly not here in New York City. Whether it's throwing a brick, putting your body on the line, or filing a lawsuit so that no one else has to endure the injustice you have, your resistance, our resistance, matters. Thank you, Wesley, for telling your story and fighting back, and for reminding us that while we've made so much progress, we still have so far to go. Thank you for intentionally centering joy and telling the stories of women, people of color, and queer and trans folks living their best damn lives. Everyone, please join me in welcoming our next honoree, Wesley Han.
I've had eyes on him all day. Hey, boy Brayden went to that building a few minutes ago. Good day. Pastry. Sure. You going to play nice now? 할머니, 여기 있습니다.
아니야, 그거는 왜 실제 거기다 감춰?
하나에 165불이에요.
아니야, 155불이야.
예, 맞아요.
나 그거 좀 보자.
왜요? What is she saying? Wants to check both the zips. And then later I was like, do you want to go someplace to play?
Yeah. What happened?
I don't know, she got kind of weird eyes.
What do you mean she got weird?
She said something like, there's women, and then there's women. So it's get in and get out. You smell that? It really is 98.42% natural. Quick, get some water on it. Hey, quit hogging this. I'm lathering. We swear, it's the only one-step action bar that not only eliminates her zips, but prevents future breakouts as well. Fuck. You haven't told her?
So it's not a big deal.
He's a literal Versace model.
But he was a Versace model. He's not
You should just fuck him already.
What? Whoa.
Seriously, that's the point of dating apps?
Hey, I'm not gonna sleep with some dude I've met 2 times.
Okay.
Yeah, we know. Oh my god, you fucking scared me!
It's not like I enjoy it, okay? You think I fucking like it? If I'd known they were going to play the whole thing, I wouldn't have included the skincare commercial. Well, it has been an incredibly surreal experience this evening, sitting up here in the illustrious company of my fellow awardees. I keep thinking of that line from Sweet Charity where Shirley MacLaine goes, "This place sure is crawling with celebrities. I'm the only one here I've never heard of." I'm pretty sure most of you have no idea who I am, or what I'm doing here today mostly, so I'll tell the story. 2 months ago, I accepted a friend's invitation to accompany her to a party at the Soho Grand Hotel. We ended up installing ourselves in the club room, a sort of intimate salon-style cocktail that's housed inside. The combination of good music, better company, and excellent Prosecco were making for a very pleasant Thursday evening. I should do this more often, I remember thinking. Now, my mother loves fashion, and my father believes that making the effort to look one's best is a very tasteful way of showing respect for one's company. As a result of their combined efforts, I've grown into something of a monstrous diva when it comes to presentation. So, on the night in question, I kept it cute. My usual beauty rigmarole, down to the individually drawn brow hairs. I thought the fit was giving sophistication, although looking around, maybe not by your standards, since I'm probably the brokest bitch in the room. In any case, I was having the loveliest time, but as the evening progressed, I felt the call of nature. So I excused myself to find the restroom, pushing past the club's bouncer stationed by the entrance. It seems relevant at this juncture to explain that I do not identify as a woman. I came out as non-binary just about 10 years ago. And while I could bore you all with a lecture on the social performativity of gender and the misguided conflation of gender and sex, we can skip that and just say that I've never felt particularly moved by the societal expectations placed on men or women. However, for many of us who identify as confusing, circumstance often forces us to pick a side. At the Soho Grand, I had to pick a bathroom. The men's room or the women's room. My personal philosophy when I pick a restroom is this. I'm just gonna go wherever I can pee in peace. On some days, that might be the men's room. And on other days, such as the evening of March 5th, that might be the women's. Why? Because occasionally, in this funny little world we live in, insecure men in restrooms take offense to my right to personal expression, and perhaps in an attempt to purge themselves of any effeteness that's rubbed off just by virtue of sharing a sink, they try to beat my ass. So, I chose the ladies' room. I walked past a cluster of women gossiping by the entryway, picked a stall, and sat down to do my business. Not a minute later, I heard a deep baritone from the front of the restroom. Excuse me, ladies. Have any of you seen a man come through here? It was the bouncer from the club room. One of the women went, "A man? I don't think so." Undeterred, the bouncer shouldered his way into the restroom, heading for the only occupied stall, mine. I was trapped. Nowhere to go, panties around my ankles. My skin was fire and ice. I could feel the blood draining from my face. There was no way that this was happening to me. In a New York City bathroom? The bouncer rapped his knuckles on the door. Come on out of there. It wasn't a question, it wasn't a debate. It was an indictment for someone who'd already pled guilty by virtue of who they are. So I pulled up my underwear, opened the stall door, and let the man march me out like a criminal caught in the act. Like a pervert in the bathroom. Like this somehow poses a threat to women. Now, to be clear, what happened in that bathroom sucked. It was a flagrant violation of both New York State and city law. But for weeks, I balked at the thought of taking legal action. I've never considered myself a revolutionary, and certainly not a litigious pot stirrer, and in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that bad, was it? I wasn't stripped, beaten, or killed. After all, I'm already privileged to live in New York City, where I can afford to be morally outraged at this kind of treatment. But it is that line of thinking that ultimately turned me around, because this is New York City, and we should be morally outraged when anyone is treated this way. If we are positioning ourselves as some kind of progressive city upon a hill, then it behooves us to hold ourselves to the highest standard. As rigorously as we can. We are indeed privileged to live in a place where the law protects us. But that also means we have a duty to enforce it, even if we are just ordinary, unrevolutionary people. So I said, fuck it, let's sue. And that's the story that brings me here before you, this glittering assemblage of New York's elite queers and allies. It's without a doubt a tremendous honor to be here with you and to share my experience in this way. But it would be dishonest of me not to confess to some amazement at my receiving a human rights award over so little of my own blood spilt. Lately, I've been hearing a lot about how brave I have been in standing my ground against persecution and oppression, and I must graciously demur at those allegations. I've said it previously, and I'm saying it again now. I am privileged. I am privileged to have never experienced that kind of discrimination before. I am privileged to live in a city where I have legal recourse, and I am privileged to have the means and the access to prosecute my claims. Many people in the queer community do not. It's not news to any of you that our civil liberties in this country are under siege, and few of us are more vulnerable than trans women. Last year alone, the ACLU documented more than 600 anti-trans bills introduced at the state level, and by the year's end, 29 states had adopted anti-trans policies. Mia beat me to the punch, but bear with me. Just this week, the White House published their new counterterrorism strategy, which formalizes their mission to identify and neutralize any groups whose ideology is anti-American, such as the transgender killers, the non-binary, and the left-wing radicals. In the foreword of that document, our very own president addresses us directly. If you hurt Americans, we will find you, and we will kill you. But why? Why do gender-expansive people dominate political discourse in this country when we make up for less than 1% of the population? Because if religion is the opiate of the masses, then hatred is their cocaine. Nothing energizes a crowd like a scapegoat, harnessing the people's frustrations with their own material want and suffering and redirecting them against the vulnerable fringes of society has been one of the most iconically insidious ploys of every fascist, autocrat, and failed legislator. From the fall of the Weimar Republic to the crackdowns on the LGBTQ community in Eastern Europe today, we know that surging violence against queer people is one of the surest signs of a fascist's rise to power. What does it matter if gas prices are up 10% in a month, or your insurance won't approve your kid's life-saving procedure? When there's witches to burn, join the party today. Trans people are not the enemy of America. Trans people are not the reason you only have $65 to feed your family this month, or that you have to choose between rent and insulin. Class inequality, corporations, and a system of government that rams us into one another so we never think to look up, that is the enemy. But somehow, every day, it is ordinary trans people who pay the price. Alexa Negron Luciano was stalked, shot, and killed on the side of a road in Puerto Rico for using the women's room at a McDonald's. 17-year-old Cobalt Sovereign was using the men's room at her Minnesota high school in an effort to make her female classmates feel less uncomfortable, when another boy called her a faggot and broke her jaw in 2 places. And just last Sunday in Seattle, Washington, a city that holds itself out as a sanctuary for trans people, 19-year-old Juniper Blessing was stabbed 40 times in the laundry room of her off-campus dorm, and she was left to die. I have never known the fear that many women like this face, and I will never need the kind of bravery it takes for them just to get dressed in the morning. So no, I am not brave, but I do have the privilege of doing my part in clawing towards a better world where genderqueer people don't need to be brave just to sit on a fucking toilet. If my acceptance of this award will challenge you to ask yourselves, what am I doing about the hatred in my own backyard? If it declares that violence against the trans community is not a fear-mongering tactic or a poignant sacrifice, is not anything but ugly, needless waste, and if it renews the flame within you to resist the encroaching fascism that would see every single one of us here in this room struck down, then I humbly accept. Thank you.
What a night, huh? Now we have the honor and privilege, and what a treat to be able to hear one of the talents of our time. Please welcome Lorna Luft.
Thank you. This song was written by an incredible friend of mine. And he was not only a friend of mine, but he was a dear, dear friend to Leslie. His name was Jerry Herman. And of course, Jasmine, you did a wonderful job an incredible job with I Am What I Am, which was always written by Jerry. And Leslie and I were on tour together with Jerry Herman. We did 36 cities in 6 weeks on a bus. And Jerry promised that he would be with us. He lasted a week. But Leslie and I continued. And I loved Jerry Herman, and this song he wrote, I think says it all for all of us. I'll be here tomorrow, alive and well and thriving. I'll be here tomorrow. It's simply called surviving. If before the dawn this fragile world might crack, someone's gotta try and put the pieces back. So from beneath the rubble, you'll hear a little voice say, life is worth the trouble. Have you a better choice? So let the skeptics say tonight we're dead and gone. I'll be here tomorrow, simply going on. I'll be here tomorrow, alive and well and thriving. I'll be here tomorrow, it's simply called surviving. If before the dawn this fragile world might crack, someone's gotta try and put the pieces back. So beneath the rubble, you'll hear a little voice say, life is worth the trouble. Have you a better choice? So let the skeptics say tonight we're dead and gone. I'll be here tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow, simply
Wow, let's give Lorna another round of applause. I always got to put the mic really far down after Erik is at the table again. Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's Assembly Member Jessica Gonzalez Rojas. I use she, her, ella pronouns, and I hope to be the next state senator in Queens. I am so honored to be part of the most powerful gay wedding days in New York City politics. This is amazing. And thank you, Allen, for all that you do and your leadership at the Jim Owls Democratic Club. You know, I appreciate the commitment to multiple issues, right? When we talk about LGBTQ liberation, we can't talk about, we must talk about issues like criminal justice, like housing justice, like reproductive justice, like economic justice, because Audre Lorde said there's no such thing as a single issue struggle because we do not live single issue lives. Is that right? So I'm really proud to be part of this club and to celebrate alongside you. And it's such an incredible honor to welcome the incomparable Leslie Uggams. Tonight, who's our next honoree. She is an Emmy and Tony Award-winning actress and singer whose extraordinary career has spanned Broadway, television, and film. A true trailblazer, she broke barriers as one of the first Black women to host a national television variety show and has captivated audience for decades with unforgettable performances on stage and on screen. And if you know musical theater, you may know the legendary story of Leslie improvising her way through Carousel's June is Busting Out All Over during a rain-soaked performance when the cue cards literally slipped in the mud, and instead of missing a beat, she made theater history. She reminded us all of the brilliance, the resilience, and the grace that has defined her remarkable career. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to the legendary Leslie Uggams.
Busting out of bushes and the rocket river bridges, all the little wheels that will be tied a mill. June is busting out all over, the love and the fun that they did ten. And the little bit of bridges and they hucking up the cheapest out of all the morning glory on the fair. Because it's June, 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 June. Just because it's June, June,
you just saw. Because I had done the Washington scene many, many times. And they came up with me singing, June is Busting Out All Over. And I said, well, I really don't know the lyrics to that. They said, don't worry. We got cue cards. It's gonna be fine. And I believed them. But that night, it poured rain. It was coming down. And the next morning, everything was a complete mess. And they said to me, okay, we also want you to walk through the audience while you're singing June is Busting Out All Over. I was like, what? Okie dokie. So they introduced me, and I'm walking, and I'm singing, and the cue card guy, he's following me, and then all of a sudden, he slipped and fell in the mud, and I was on my own. So I decided, hell, if Ella can do it, I could do some scatting myself. Whatever came out of my mouth is whatever came out of my mouth. All I could think of, Jesus, let me get up on this stage and hit that last note. So It happened. I walked off the stage. Nobody said a thing to me. And I thought, okay, I got it. Well, many months later, a dear departed friend of mine named Michael Leslie, he said to me, do you know you were in every gay bar in America? And I said, doing what? He said, singing June is busting out all over. And they got a translation as well. Well, at first I was like, oh my God, my reputation is over. I miss my lyrics. But then everybody embraced me so that I have a day on my own. June the 1st is Leslie Uggams Day. I know I've been very fortunate because I've done a lot of different things in my career. And I have opened a lot of doors. But I was more concerned about the people behind the scenes as well. The crew, I made sure that we had a black cameraman when I did the Leslie Uggams show. John Amos was one of my writers of the show. So I've had so many, many opportunities. But my dad told me when I was a little girl, he came from the South Carolina, and he never went back because he saw a lot of things that he couldn't get out of his memory. But he said to me, I want you to say and live this. Yes, I can. And so that's what my life has been. Yes, I can. And I got a lot of no's, but yes, I can. And so all of us here, yes, we can. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to do it. And the main thing is we have to vote. There's so many young people out there that I talk to them about voting, and they're kind of like, I don't know. Well, I don't know if I want to vote. I don't know what it. Nothing changes if we don't get that vote. And they are doing everything to stop us from getting that vote, going out there voting for people. We have to make sure, and not just for the President of the United States, for all these wonderful people that are representing us here in this room. We have to get out and vote for you. So I'm going to make sure I will be there voting, that's for sure. But I just want to say I am so thrilled to be given this award. It's very special to me. I have to tell you a quick story. My godfather was a major in the Army, and he had to suppress the fact that he was gay. And when he would come to visit my mother and dad and I at our home, it was like, oh my God, he's been released. The records would come on, and Lacey, he could dance, and it was fabulous. But then he had to keep himself buttoned up. And he was never happy. And so we are all in this together. And if we don't embrace all of ourselves, we're living in a strange world. And we are not going to let that, pardon my French, you know who in the White House, who's busy decorating while people are going through an economic problem, and he's worried about the arches and the ballroom. And I'm worried because he went to China and they were marching with the band and the things. That's the next thing he's going to be asking us to do. We can't let that happen. So we are going to make sure that we get that vote out. And I'm so happy to be here tonight because I saw a lot of people that I see on the flyers that I get sent to my house. And now I saw them in person, and I'm going to vote for them. Thank you so much for this award. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Hi there. So, my name is Carl Wilson, and as of this week, I am the new City Council member representing District 3. And I want to just take a moment and thank my predecessor in the seat, Erik Bottcher, whose leadership and mentorship has been really key to my development, but also for the benefit of our community in the West Side. And I also want to thank Allen Roskoff. It is not lost on me the legacy of what I am taking on here and what I've inherited, and it is because of fighters like you and real pioneers and leaders in the LGBT community and what you've done for our rights and visibility. And I stand on your shoulders and the shoulders of of those who've been able to clear the path that I can walk down. So thank you very much. It's really, really an honor, and I'm going to work really hard. But I also have another great task this evening. I get to introduce Sean Coleman, who is someone I've gotten to know a little bit through my work at the City Council. And Sean's story is one rooted in resilience, responsibility, and purpose. Raised in the heart of Brooklyn by his grandmother, he learned early what it means to fight for stability and to build something from nothing, and to carry others with you as you rise. He often describes himself as just a hustler from Bed-Stuy. But anyone who knows Sean understands that what truly defines him is his commitment to community. As the founder and CEO of the unbelievable organization, Destination Tomorrow, Sean has built more than an organization. He has built a lifeline. What started with determination, sacrifice, and even cashing out of his own 401k has grown into a nationally recognized institution serving Black, LGBTQ+ communities and other marginalized New Yorkers through housing, workforce development, health service, legal support, and economic empowerment. And I have to say, actually, when I was serving as Chief of Staff to Councilmember Bottcher, I had it was a Black trans woman call our office because she knew Erik co-chaired the LGBTQ caucus, asking for help. They were housing, their housing was unstable and not safe, and called me. And we represent the West Side of Manhattan, and she lived in the Bronx. And I had many back and forth conversations with her, but I said, I know where you can go. I know who can help you. And I sent her to Destination Tomorrow. I called Sean and said, Sean, could you please help me? And of course, right away, they set up an appointment, did that intake, and were able to help this person. So, that really, that level of service, that level of work that really makes a difference in people's lives. And especially at a time when our own federal government is threatening the very communities that built this city, it is so important that we work to give them the resources that they need, and even more important, that we stand with them in our fight back. And that is exactly what Sean does at Destination Tomorrow. What makes Sean extraordinary is that he never stopped at personal success. He has dedicated himself to helping other nonprofits grow stronger, more sustainable, more impactful, ensuring that our communities can thrive for generations to come. Sean chooses to build doors where there are walls. He chose service over comfort, courage over fear, and community over self-interest. Sean, your leadership has changed lives, it really has, and your vision has inspired countless people, and your work represents the very best of New York City. So, on behalf of everyone in this room and the people of New York City, it's my privilege to present and introduce you for this award tonight. So, everyone, can you please join me in congratulating Sean Coleman? Thank you very much.
Shows us not only rooted in social justice and equality, but shows us what we are tomorrow.
The mission is twofold. It is rooted in economic empowerment. The mission is twofold. Providing tools that economic empowerment, particularly those that provide tools that LGBTQ folks, that's particularly also.
It's all right because I'm here. Good evening. My name is Sean Ebony Coleman. I use he, him pronouns, and I've just been identified as a trans terrorist. But fear not, all my life, folks have told me who I am, and I've had to reclaim the narrative. I want to start by thanking Jim Owls, Liberal Democratic Club, and Allen for this honor. To be recognized in a room like this by people who shape not just conversations, but outcomes means a great deal to me. But before I go any further, I want to acknowledge the passing of a trans icon, Kiara St. James, who was my friend. Kiara was a force, a truth teller, and someone who understood deeply that our communities deserve not just visibility, but dignity, protection, and power. We owe it to leaders like her to continue pushing this work forward with urgency and intention. You see, Kiara and my journey didn't start in rooms like this. It started in spaces where survival, not strategy, was our priority. And over time, I learned how to translate the brilliance, the resilience, and the leadership from my community into systems that actually work. But I want to be honest about something tonight. We've spent years fighting to be visible because visibility matters. But visibility without investment is performative. Visibility without infrastructure does not change outcomes. At Destination Tomorrow, we're not just talking about the issues, we're operating in solutions. We're housing people, we're stabilizing lives, and we're building pathways that didn't exist before. And what that's shown me is that the gap is not in ideas, the gap is in alignment. Alignment between policies, alignment between endorsements, alignment between where resources actually go. Because the organizations closest to the problem should not also be furthest from the funding. Let me also say this plainly. As an organization whose main hub is located in the Bronx, we've often experienced what it means to not fully be seen by the rest of the city. Too often, organizations rooted in the Bronx, despite doing transformative work, are left out of conversations, overlooked for investments, and not offered seats at tables where decisions are made. But let me be very clear. Innovation, leadership, and vision do not only come from Manhattan. I'm sorry. Some of the most impactful work happening for LGBTQIA people in the city is happening in communities that have historically had to fight the hardest to be acknowledged. So as I step deeper into partnership with this room, through this honor and this opportunity to continue building together, I'm not just here to participate, I'm here to help ensure that work and the priorities we all believe in are fully resourced, fully supported, and fully realized. We've already proven what's possible. Now the question is, are we willing to align the power in this room with the solutions that already exist? And I believe we are. If you'll give me one more moment, I want to thank my team. My DT team, Sage, Dr. Tillery, and Rebecca. I am nothing without your efforts, your guidance, and your support. To my board chair, Toy, thanks for believing in me. I know I come up with some crazy stuff sometimes, but we haven't missed yet. To my daughter, Shawanda, who is here with me tonight, thank you for being the first person to show me what unconditional love truly is. We truly are all we got. To my wife, who's home with our 9-month-old son, I love you both beyond words, and everything I do is for you. And to all of you, thank you so much for the time and for this honor. I appreciate you more than you know.
to close us out, by the way, does Alan put on a great show or what? You're gonna produce the Grammys next year, Alan. Let's do it.
My best friend, brother.
By the way, I got turned away at the door here a few years ago, so I've come a long way, okay? Please, to finish us off, please welcome the one, the only, one of the best allies our community has ever had, Lorna Luft.
Asked me to do this. I said, all right. And I do this because I think we should always keep things in the family. And I do this because it is the only song to close this evening out with. And if you want, I know that you want to join in, go ahead.